Alright guys, so it's almost time for school, and I just want to give you guys a few reminders of our policies, and we have a few changes to some of our policies as well. So we want you guys to stay tuned so you all can be ready and prepped for September 2nd and for this new term. Alright, so we open at 7 a.m. You guys know this, the gate and the door is usually open by 7 a.m. right? We usually close the gate at 9 a.m. right, for safety purposes, but we'll be extending it to 9:15 to accommodate those parents who come home late from shifts or are running, a little bit late in the morning because they have to do whatever, so prepare the kids. So 15 minutes extra, guys. The gate will be locked. Please try to reach by that time, because when you don't, you are actually disrupting classes or the kids' routines, or you're leaving a class unsupervised, even though it might be for 5 seconds, 5 minutes. It only takes 1 second for something to go wrong. So please, guys, try to reach here by 9:15, where we close the gates and we get into our routine as usual. Thanks so much for understanding. Alright, so this brings us to our second point. We do have an open door policy. So if you guys need to, drop off your child during the day after a doctor's appointment or so, or check in to see if they're okay, even though none of you guys really utilize it because of the fact that we have the open communication via WhatsApp, we have videos, pictures, and on-demand information. You guys don't usually use it, but we're just asking that when you do drop off during the day, that you keep the schedule in mind. So if you're dropping off around lunchtime, make sure it's on the 11:30 dot or just before, not during, so that we don't leave the kids unsupervised, because usually we have to feed them, or at least help them from time to time. You know your own kids, so you know what I'm talking about, right? So just keep that in mind, just as an example. Don't come during nap time, come before, after, things like that. You can come during break time, playtime, sensory time outside. Of course, like between 9 and 10, we're doing more reading and writing type work, more traditional style work. So you could come, just not to disrupt the class, so you could sit with your kid and you can see what they're doing, but just keep in mind that their behavior is going to be different. They are going to modify it because you're around. Alright guys, so this is our third point. The group on WhatsApp that I will be sending this video in right now, y'all will be looking at it in this group. This will be how you will receive your pictures, and if you notice, it says that admins only will be able to use messaging in the group, but of course our lines are still open. Private messages are still okay in WhatsApp, and I will answer all your questions and speak to you as usual, right? And of course, feel free to call me about anything. Remember, these are your children, so we have to hold our end in that way in terms of communication, right? So this group is basically just for media. It'll make it easier than having to send to all the parents individually, and WhatsApp only gives me a limit of 5 people per forwarded message. So bear in mind that this is why we changed from individual media messages to the group. Thank you. Alright guys, so this brings us to our fourth point, uniforms. Uniforms. Okay, so uniforms are to be worn at all times, The purpose of the uniform is more for the comfort of the child than anything else. As you realize, we do not really use the traditional style shirt, overall, jumpers, type uniform. We have the round neck t-shirts, plain t-shirts, no print, right? To distract, we have no fuss with the round neck t-shirts. It's easy to go over the child's head and to lift for potty time, as well as the shorts or skirts are easily pulled down or up because of the elastic band most times, and because of the length, right? And it's not clingy and all of these things, so the child is not frustrated, and we're able to go through potty time much easier.
So whether it be field trips, graduation ceremonies, or parties that we have, right, anything, uniform.
Okay, number 5, cut up all food for the kids, because they're feeding themselves and we want to encourage independence. Okay, so we need all the food to be cut up, just like our policy says. We want the grapes to be cut in half. We don't want any choking hazards. Don't forget, we don't allow nuts. We don't want any big chicken nuggets or chunks of meat, nothing like that, guys. Please cut up everything. Don't assume that they'll bite into it, because most times they don't, and we've had 2 incidents where a child almost choked on food, right? I think one was a nugget and the other was, I think, beef, right? Okay, so guys, be careful. Don't forget that we don't allow soda and soft drink and stuff. We do give you guys the option of sending snacks or fruit or both, and they eat it, right, for those who send. But the soda and stuff, guys, chewing gum, nothing like that. We don't allow those things. You bring the juice, the water. Make sure the water is in a sippy cup or some kind of gem bottle, something like that, in that style, so that they can easily identify their water and drink throughout the day and keep hydrated, as opposed to the bottled water from like Dasani and Blue Waters and whatever. Maybe not send it in those bottles, because we realize that the either throw is over, or they have problems opening and closing, and it's just not accessible for them, as well as they can get mixed up because they're not labeled. Guys, as I say, label everything, down to the shoes. If you could use a silver marker, gold marker or something, label, or some kind of nail polish, something like that, right? Make sure that all the new containers that you guys are coming out with, all those fancy stuff, make sure that you label it, and ensure that the bags and stuff, your towels, their blankets, anything like that, make sure that they're labels. I repeat, to label everything, because sometimes you have to rush to label something just to make sure it doesn't get mixed up, because another child has the exact same bottle, right guys? So we don't want them to drink from each other's bottle or get mixed up.